last time, man. I mean, why change? You know, it is
One
what it
minute.
is.
Yeah.
My apologies. Always trying to try something new every freaking day. It's my fault.
So I asked the AI, right? It said, as an AI language model, I do not have personal opinions or beliefs, but I can provide a generalized answer. It is appropriate for a man to express his feelings whenever he feels comfortable doing so. Men should have the right to express their feelings without fear of judgment or repercussions. However, it's considered appropriate for men to express them. Wait, no, go ahead, come back. No, check.
Well, welcome to Sidebar Street and Culture Parkway, everybody.
Over here.
That was Nico. I am Zim Digital, and that is Gino. Let me stop.
What's going on?
What up, y'all? It's your boy Gino.
Hey,
nah,
hang on it, though.
nah, run it back. Run it back. What you said. Run back. What you said.
Hold on. I gotta add now some of that. I'd ask the
Oh, you asked GPT?
yeah, I asked the AI.
Yeah, I
Oh
was
man,
listening.
yo, you're freaking sick. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's entertain it. Let's see what Chat GPT said.
Take your try to take personal feelings out of it. See what somebody more objective.
Oh man. Well, shoot.
So
Should I? Okay, you want to lead with that? You want to lead with that, and I smack him with what I got, and then we'll meet in the middle.
I mean, it's up to you, man.
I mean,
I
do you
would
have it?
agree.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't. Hey, look.
I
While
would
you
agree with
tripping,
the.
you can actually lead with that and be like, boom. Hey, welcome everybody to boom, 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 and we
We
just
are
go into that
already
whole
live,
topic.
though.
Stop playing with me.
I'm not playing. We are
I'm out
already
to.
live. Yo, that's
Okay,
why I
so I'm
said
out
you want to
to.
lead with it.
I mean, yeah, it's whatever.
Go ahead, hit him with it.
All right, so like I said, so we asked, or what was asked was, when is it appropriate for a man to express his feelings, and to whom is it appropriate for him to express them? And I asked that to the AI. So AI says, as an AI language model, I do not have personal opinions or beliefs, but I can provide a generalized answer. There is no particular timeline or schedule to express one's feelings. Men should have the right to express their feelings without fear of judgment or repercussions. However, it's considered appropriate for men to express their feelings to trusted friends, family, or qualified mental health professionals who can provide support and guidance. However, it is essential to consider the situation and the people around them before expressing their emotions. They should only share with someone who is empathetic, trustworthy, respectful, and supportive.
Isn't that
That
something?
was AI.
Isn't that
That was
something?
AI.
Isn't that something? Like, okay, so yeah, that's great to segue into this right here, where it's like the post I had posted up was when can men vent? Essentially, we can't go to any of the following people: person who listens to rebuttal, listens to judge, interrupts, therefore hasn't listened. Often other men, uh, and few of, if any, women. Save your wife sometimes, your mother, your grandmother most times. But when you really think about it, we only have God to talk to, truly. And it's because man is expected to pick himself up, and we're not expected to feel anything. You know what I mean? And so in the comments, you know what I'm saying? through having these rebuttals and these conversations with people, it got down to ultimately summing up to that empathy that the chat GPT was talking about. But then I really said, you know what I'm saying? Really, you got to go to a place where love exists. You know what I'm saying? In order to vent if you're a man. And you know what I'm saying? And then ultimately it started to break down into like, maybe this is a everyone's problem. Like maybe
Right.
this is a
Yeah.
day and age problem. You know what I'm saying? Like an era problem. Like this is the era where it
Right.
is
I think
hard to
that's sort of like
be this
I think
like
it's sort of like where I had chimed in, where I was saying, while we can say men, I think that it might be more appropriate to say man in the traditional sense, as man, as all of mankind. Now, it's sort of at that point where who can you really vent to?
right.
Because
Like I say,
who's not listening for a rebuttal?
Hmm.
You know?
like I say, I look at it like this. You know, what I mean, this has always been like a mantra of mine, and this is like a good thing because I've always questioned myself about. It. I was like, yo, who really can I vent to? And like, this is like a daily routine. Like I said, I do not move away from the mirror until I smile at myself. Like it's a thing. I just can't do it. Like I do not like I will call out of work. I will not go to work if I can't smile at myself. You know what I mean? So like I'm venting to myself in my mind. I'm talking like I'm not feeling good. You know what I mean? I don't feel like it.
I
So like
feel
you
you.
said, like you know what I mean? When you talk to self, that's like the
What does
spirit. Like you
self
know what I mean?
say?
Yeah, what does the self say? Is that your mind? What's that your heart? What's that your spirit? What is that? What is it that's talking back to you when you talking to yourself? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, I see what you're talking about. Like, you know what I mean? But essentially I'm like, yo, you gotta go to God. You know what I mean? Cause like although I do have those people who I can go vent to, you know what I mean? And I know the proper people to go to vent to. I just wish that there were other people. Like I wish like sometimes you wish it was the people that you want to be the person, you know what I'm
Mhm,
saying, that you
mhm.
can vent
Mhm.
to, and that person is not the person. When you really think about it, you're
Absolutely.
like, damn, man, I wish I really could like get something off my chest
Mhm.
with that person. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they would,
Absolutely.
but they're not. But then you think about it, and you're like, damn, no, they're not. That person is not going to listen. You know what I'm
Yeah, they
saying?
don't have the life experience. They don't have
Yeah.
the ability to take themselves out of the situation and listen. And
Observe.
yeah, I think that a lot of times that even for us, like going into venting is one of those things where we're so self medicated, even in a way of being our own therapist, that at times when we're venting, we're not being clear about what the medication is that we need from the people that we're venting to.
Mm.
Because
It's almost like a
sometimes,
stigma. It's a stigma. Like you know what I mean?
right?
Like is it a like it's a thing, but it's not
I
a
mean,
thing.
Like it's like,
I think
what are you saying? You're saying like when people vent, you would say often people kind of give just one aspect of what's going on
Right. As
and
it's
not
looked at.
really tell. But I mean that doesn't that kind of come with the territory when you sort of think about it, because a lot of people aren't open to leaving themselves vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Out of fear of embarrassment or retribution, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better words to describe. But I think that it's tough. You know what I'm saying? For I don't think it's tough in in a sense where you can't. You know what I'm saying? I just think that as men, we often choose not to. You know what I'm saying? And those
It's a
I
stigma.
choices,
It's
those
looked
those
as is
choices
look
are
it is
like,
looked at it is looked as though that it is a thing. I'm sorry, pardon me, but it's looked as though a thing that as a man, if you're vented, it shows some form of weakness in the social construct that we live in. It shows some form
I
of that,
agree.
right? And
absolutely.
people look at it different because you could be just venting and just trying to like explain
But
something,
why is
but
that? But why is that like that when it's vice versa? Right? Like it's actually
Word.
strength. It's actually a strength to be able to express oneself,
I,
in a way where so openly. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
To be
I
openly
think that part of
expressive.
that, I think part of that reason really, and it's gonna sound like the typical answer, especially coming from me, looking the way I look and stuff like that, whatever. Lack of role models, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because the people that we see or are shown to us to have it together are so damn stoic. I mean, you don't see them have emotional moments of tired, of going to their. We ain't never seen a conversation between the Obamas where he was like, Michelle, I don't even know if I can do this. Like, so we're shown no matter what you're going through, you got to present this face.
Right.
You know, so I do think like there's a stigma, and the stigma comes from what we have sort of like what's been pushed upon us, in like what we put on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Like we put on a pedestal these people who, regardless of what is going on in their lives, we don't see the emotional breakdown. And so I think that in a personal way, we don't vent because we're seeing that breakdown. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
In a sense, no connection.
yeah, it's
What
like
would you call that? What's the word for it, man? Cognitive dissonance.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
A sort of
Because
cognitive dissonance.
we,
From
we
Yeah.
know we know that most great art comes from pain and things of that nature, and we can hear
Word.
even stories like 50 Cent and stuff like that. But somehow you're still gonna turn that into, man, he was so hard, he was such a da 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 da, so on and so forth, and blah blah blah. And it's like, bro, this man just wrote a whole song about many men wanting to kill him,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah.
Word.
in his psyche. And he really had to move like that.
Right, right.
And even to express that fear as a man, I feel like, what I mean, it was done in a way where it didn't take anything from his masculinity, but what I mean, it's telling
Hmm.
that, you know, even a feeling like that, even a feeling of, oh, man, there's people out here who want to kill me. You got to turn that into a joke. You got to turn that into a, yeah, they want me dead. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because,
You
because
can't really express the fear that is. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Right.
If there is fear there, you can't express that side. You know what I mean? Like you're just expected to deal with it. That's it. Deal with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like yo,
Absolutely.
the the woman may have someone to go pat her on the back and have a shoulder to cry on, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying in
Mhm.
all cases, right?
right.
but
I,
but
I think
but
I
for the
think I
most
sent you
part.
a video. I think I sent you a video where they were basically saying that exact thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's exactly
Well,
where the
yeah,
frick I
let's
got it
put.
from. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I've seen this more times um than you know what I mean was shown in this video. You know what I mean? It's been like a trope of a repetitive trope that's been going on. I would say, for lack of better words,
Yeah.
right? But shoot,
What's
let's
that
get into
about?
this video. Like, and
Yeah. Let
Nico,
me see that.
yeah,
This is one of the main reasons why men prefer to go and cry on silence.
You are not his father.
Sorry, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh,
Oh, Gian, calm down, babe. It's okay. We're all here. We're all here.
Juliana. I'm here.
So while the guy is there crying in silence, right, because you're a man, the woman gets a shoulder. Look what they said. Oh, we all here for you. Mind you, she was only crying because she got caught.
that's really crazy. You know what I mean?
That's
That
right.
homie was over there literally like crying, and you know what I mean. When I saw the title, I was like, how do you cry in silence? That is the definition of it. You know what I mean? And I know I've been there
Yeah.
myself one time where I'm just not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, tears may fall down my eyes, but I just cannot show it. You know what I'm saying? Like on
Mhm.
my face, and it's eating me up inside. That joint hurt. It's heavy. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nobody's shoulder to cry on. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I
Or
mean,
none of
like,
that. You know what I mean? You really have to internalize that. And I think that we continuously could internalize things and keep doing it. And then that's the one day toxicity that comes out when this one thing that tips us over the tipping point, and then we're all just like these balls of fire. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I also think though you touched on it earlier when you said, you know what I mean, something about going to God, because it becomes that thing of once you know, you know what I mean, and going back to it not even being just about men, but as man as a whole, as humanity right now, once you've gone to the point of everybody is pointing the finger at everybody else, and you know what I mean, it's your fault, however you're feeling, and whatever you're going through, and da 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 da. Like you have to accept that we are trying still to be better than our nature. You know what I
Facts.
mean? We are trying still to go beyond our nature and be beyond things like melancholy, beyond things like, you know what I mean, depression and lust and all of those things. So it's like, you know, being sad, I think it is another one of those representations, sort of, or like, or even having the need to vent is sort of to some a representation of, you know what I mean, sort of a weakness and a lack of direction because you haven't already gone to God with it. So I
Right,
don't know if
right.
it's like there's so many
There's so many
different
ways you could
ways.
go with it, but I mean,
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, I really think that if it's okay, yeah, sure, those are avenues for venting, like such as your art. You know what I mean? You have many different ways to express. You could vent by playing sports. You know what I mean? These are outlets. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should have. But the people that don't have an outlet, those are the ones that often become the dangerous ones. You know what I'm saying? With the inability to vent to, or have resources to vent to. You know what I'm saying? If not any good ones. You know what I mean? Um,
Right.
but yeah, like you're
So,
right. I agree. I agree. You know what I'm saying?
right. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with just our nature as human beings. Like we forget that
Right,
we're animals at the end of the day. So
right.
it does nothing for a man to you know outwardly and openly show weakness when we are still a competitive being. You know what I mean? When we're, you know what I mean? Like we still peacocking, we're still trying to be the alphas and stuff like that. Of whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, so to come out and show a possible adversary, you know what I mean, a moment of weakness, it is difficult. You know, again,
I also do think that the term simp should be redefined.
oh,
I
absolutely.
just say, hey, when I say when we talk about venting, I'll be like, yo, man, you know, when you venting, like at the same time, it's like it's an expression. Like this is you, right? This is all of you expressing something to the world.
You know what I mean?
I've
And I
always had
mean,
a
I think
I've always had a respect for, like, you know what I'm saying, when I'm talking to people, like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I have good manners, right? And so for me, like when I say venting, like in my mind, how I understand it is like it's just my expression. I'm gonna respect my expression as much as respect theirs too. You know what I mean? Regardless how they come at me. Okay, this person might be a astrophysicist, right?
Right.
But
Right.
they live in the hood. They live in the hood though, and he looks like Uncle Charlie. You know what I mean? I might not. And Uncle Charlie's is a dirtbag, lack of a better term. You know what I mean? But you gotta like respect what he says because he's a stranger. So venting to me is just like human nature, everyday conversation. Like don't expect nothing. At the same time, expect something.
right.
Take what you need to get out of that conversation, that interaction, but don't expect like, oh yeah, this is your savior. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. I mean, I think that yeah, there's always that. I mean, a bunch of people love to think that you get through onto the voice and not hear anything back. But I mean, like there are times in which even us venting, at times like you know there are times where you need to be corrected in your thought because the line of thought that you're going down isn't correct. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that we
Mhm.
should feel as though and again, not just men, but everybody. I don't think
But
anybody
that's
should feel
that's
like,
the
oh,
reason why you gotta
like
go
I
to
can't vent
places of
just because
love.
somebody's gonna say something back.
Say
You
what?
know what I mean? I don't think that we should take the stance of I can't vent because I'm not
Right.
in a safe space, because they're not gonna let me go off on how it's all my boss's fault.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. You get like a safe space. That's nah. No, I'm saying more a place where the spirit of love exists. You know what I'm saying? May be a safe place, but it's gonna be a place where you get truth as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where you're gonna get correction. You know what I'm saying? But that's correction that you can receive well because it's coming from a place of love, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I always say, like, you know what I'm saying, yeah, go to God, and God, you know what I'm saying, by definition is love. So if you go to a place where love exists, yeah, there you'll find, you know what I'm saying, like uh um godly people. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like people,
Mm-hmm.
go to
Solid.
those people for, you know what I'm saying, that type of solace. You know what I mean? Get into the company of people that are righteous minded. You know what I'm saying? And have those good attributes and stuff like that. Go to who you aspire to be. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they're good people, really really good people. But I don't think anybody should just go to anyone. But yeah, you do need that company that's not gonna be yes men. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's gonna be like, yo, like if you was wrong, yo, son, you was wrong. You was dead
yeah,
wrong. It could be your best friend, and and Joe Schmo did something crazy, and you'd be like, heck nah,
absolutely.
bro. Yo, you was dead wrong, son.
Solidarity. Solidarity to me is like punishment. Like I'm trying to sit in my room for like 48 hours. I'm not going nowhere but to the restroom, to the kitchen, and back to my room. Man, that hurt me. It was boring. I
Mm.
couldn't. I was wait. I gotta go outside. The sun is up. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. That venting, you can vent to yourself all you want. At some point, at some point, you need to vent to. You need to tell the universe something. You
Yeah.
need to watch what it does back to you.
Right.
And that's how people might be out there. Like you might not know what they've gone through, right? And they're out here bugging out in front of a 7-Eleven. They bugging out. But this is the expression of them being in the crib for 2 weeks. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm the
So
first person to see. You know what I
I
mean?
got a question for both of you guys. And I'll answer it myself. What are some of the ways that you guys vent, and that we could leave the audience with, anybody that's watching? You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you like? How do you get out that venting time, or that time of expression that you need to kind of like um, power down? You know what I'm saying? Like, not power off, but we're affected by all of these sources, these frequencies all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And
True.
eventually, you just gotta
True.
like you gotta be able to discharge all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Okay, my solution. Oh, let me not say my solution, but my chemistry of what works for me is, you know what I mean. I kick it with fam. I talk to my fam. Like my fam don't lie to me. They won't tell me nothing crazy. You know what I mean. And even if I'm going through, I might not go directly to the point. I might hint at it and vent off into something, and they'll listen, and I get good rebuttal back, and I like that. I'll talk to my homies. Sure, I talk to you. I knew you for 2 decades, plus.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's time I can get on the phone. I can chop it up for a hot second, and you don't say nothing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And so that's venting. Like to me, it's like when somebody understands, when your people understand, like when you kicking it, like, hey, what up? It's just that tone. There's a certain tone or that feeling that you just know, like, all right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
They don't want to talk. They
You know
don't
what I
want to
mean?
rap. They don't want to rap.
That's dope. To me, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Super dope. Like I'm like, man, you know what I mean? So that's venting. It's like that energy over there knows my energy that's going on over here. And I don't even see him, right? I could even be on video. I could just be on the phone, but they can feel my energy already off my tone and be like, yo, what's up, bruh? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
So
Absolutely.
that's
when you were
venting.
talking about family, you, you your family,
Is
your
my that's my power down. I'm
your
telling you, this is my
ancestry is
power down.
totally different though from the American family
This,
breakdown.
come
So
on,
like,
man,
yo,
stop it
nah,
out.
that's why your
Cut it out.
dynamic is, I would say, is different from, you know what I'm saying, the traditional African American black family. I mean, African American black African
It's the
American
same. Come on, man.
family. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, is he Congolese?
Right, right. Condoleezza. Huh? No, no, freaking I know that the dynamic in the black family is kind of different from father to son from my generation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, there was a lot of disconnect in my generation. Your ancestry kept everything straight for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So like, yo, I mean,
Right,
it's so
but
it's so,
you
but
can
yo,
only speak for self though.
I still agree with going to family, but like, yo, like you know, the African American family is it's a different thing.
I mean, so I was gonna say like I could equate that because I would say something very similar, and it would be just as strange and poignant in the sense of, for me, I would say one of the things that I do to vent is not something I would suggest to most men. You know, I'd be like, bro,
Mhm.
I vent to my girl a lot. Like I really will vent to my fiance. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason that
But y'all buddies though, bro. You get what I'm
I,
saying? Like,
and that's the point that I was going to point out. That's like what I was. Not every man can do that with his
right,
wife. Not
right.
everybody has that situation. And even with me doing that, I still am very cognizant of of complaining about things or venting about things that I feel like could make her feel like she needs to do something.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Because I might I've learned even trying to vent about things in my childhood that I had to, as I grew up, forgive myself for. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I was a child. I was supposed to be into that stuff. I was supposed to go running wild. You know what I mean? Through talking to my mom, I realized she looks at it like some sort of failing or something she should have done more of or something. Da, da, da. And I'm like, I ain't saying none of that. I'm making me okay. I'm allowing myself to apologize to me for where it's at. And sometimes it'd be the same thing with being tired, being emotional, being sad, you know, but having to weigh that against how it's going to play off on the person you're venting to. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
like I said, like the way that I might do it, you know what I mean? Because even with the studio, you know what I mean? Like I have so much creative freedom making music. I don't really have to worry about some of the stuff that other dudes that are doing art have to worry about, where it's like, oh man, I can't write about this because she's gonna get jealous, or she, you know, I can write whatever, I can think whatever, I can go reminisce about whatever. And so in that, I do have the ability to vent in ways that some people wouldn't. But at the same time, I recognize how lonely it is or whatever when you feel like you can't just scream out into the void and say everything, you know what I mean, that's wrong because it may offset someone else.
you know what? You know what I this has
True.
been a thing that I've always done. You know what I'm saying? Before I go try to vent my problems to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Find a person, find a body, find a mind to speak to. You know what I'm saying? I go take a long freaking walk, yo. You know what I mean? I go take a very long walk. And I
That's why I
won't
got the
come back
dog.
from that walk until I am freaking fully satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Between myself and my God. Like literally, I gotta go. Sometimes I gotta go shouting in the daggone air. I make sure that I go somewhere where I can shout in the air, where I don't have to worry about anybody. You know what I'm saying? Trying to listen or pry into my mother freaking venting. Sometimes when you want to vent in the air, you don't want to be too close to the place where the persons who are causing you issues are, because they're trying to freaking eavesdrop on your venting, which is a total it's a total freaking violation of someone's venting space, and then to use what you vented in your venting time just because they eavesdropped on your venting, use that against you
Right.
is like
And,
should
and
be
it's
a
still like,
crime of all crimes. You know what I'm saying? Like for
right.
real.
And
That's
it's like,
true.
yo,
I
they
agree with you
could
on
not
that.
even be the problem. They could not even be the problem. They just might not be a tool to the solution, where in which it's like, yo, I really don't need you to, like, I don't want the way that I feel to make you feel any sort of way that then changes to me now having more things to worry about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so like, but and again, like I said, I don't think that this is a men's only issue, but I think as men we can only see it from that perspective. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yo, as men, there's not a whole lot of, you know what I mean, shit we can do or worry about. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of insecurity that you can air. You can't openly air, you know what I mean, an insecurity about your looks or feelings, da 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 da.
Yeah,
Because
definitely. You cannot.
they are not.
That's a no
You know
no.
what I mean?
It's a no
You
no.
know what
At
I
the end
mean?
of the day,
Yeah.
that's exactly where I was going with. It was like, hey, look, if you can't vent, then there's some kind of insecurity that you have to like get over.
Not
You know what I
always.
mean? Like to me,
Not
like
always.
not always, but to me, I'm like, I can vent. I feel like though I can vent. Okay, like it's times where I can say what I want and not care about what nobody thinks. Whatever.
Anybody can.
And walk out of there. Yeah, and walk out of there like, yeah, whatever.
Anybody
It
can.
is what
But
it is.
will you? The thing is, will you? Look.
Yeah.
At times, keeping it real goes wrong. Terribly
I
wrong.
feel it. I
Yeah,
feel it. I
you're right.
feel it.
Terribly
Okay, that's what
wrong,
I'm saying.
bro.
I'm not saying I'm venting like that. I will not vent
I'm
like so.
saying no, but I'm saying though, like some people look, some people like, okay, imagine venting to a woman about what another woman is doing and having her
Ah.
pick the side of the woman. There's just some places you should just know in your head,
Word.
okay?
Man,
I'm not going
we
there.
Mhm.
I'm
man,
not doing it.
we've seen it, male and female. Somebody go vent to their
Uncharted
homeboy.
territory.
They go vent to the homeboy. They go vent to the homegirl about like something that their significant other isn't doing. Next thing you know, you go through your significant other phone. Why am I messaging you?
Right.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
What? And it's the same thing with girls. Same thing with girls. Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden you and your lady have a problem. Now her best friend hitting you up. She need to treat you better. What?
Right. It's all problem.
So it's like it's not like it's not one facet or anything like that. But it is. I think it's becoming increasingly difficult to be able to recognize when, where, and to whom you can really vent.
You can vent too.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you
and
think we came to maybe or do we need to do a part 2 to this and try to get some other people in here?
man, I would like to have a part two. I
I'm
want to get more
passe.
people. I'd like to get some more people in here on it. I think the conversation that we had on the actual post was amusing. I think like
Man, I would love to do that.
that was an interesting perspective.
Yeah. We got to definitely do that perspective. It's just open discussion here, guys. That's
It
it.
is.
Hey, let's talk about it. In
It
the
is.
words of Nico, let's talk
There's
about
no
it.
right. There's
You
no
know
right
what
or
I
wrong.
mean?
But
For real.
break it down.
Shoot.
Tell me what you're saying.
I was about to say, yo, if there's a wrong answer, I probably got it already. So
Hey, tell me what you said. Verify that part of my brain about that. Yeah, you know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Because that's all it is. That's the whole point of venting. I want to hear. I had a thought. A light came up on my head, and then boom, and somebody else in the world said, "Oh yeah, you right. I bet it. Let's go."
Any
Man.
good words or grand words of affirmation for the audience before we leave? Set off.
That's affirmation.
man, I guess one of the first things that I would say, we touched on it earlier, in that somebody that you might vent to might not say the correct things or whatever that you want back. But don't sell your people short by saying you don't have anybody to vent to solely because you didn't get the reaction that you wanted, or solely because you
Mhm.
didn't get, you know what I mean? Like, They don't know. They don't have the handbook either. Just like you didn't get the handbook.
They ain't sway.
So it's like that.
Mhm.
Now it's stuck. But yeah, that's a good word to end on, man. You know what I'm saying? For
I say the
sure.
same thing. I agree with you on that. On the same thing where I said, like, venting, like, to me has always been, it's just like any other anomaly that we know of in the world. It's just release of pressure. You know what I mean? Like we could be just a pressure can, and it's just a release. That's all it is. Just a little bit. It's a little fart out of your soul.
Heck yeah,
You
bro.
know what I
Look,
mean?
man,
Just let
I
out.
like that analogy so much.
That's all it is.
Bro, that was
You
it.
said
That
it
was
like
it.
you said
That
it
was
like
it. I'm
it
not
was just
saying
a fart.
anything. I'm not saying anything. Y'all have said it all. Y'all have said a lot. That was it. But we end right there. Thank you for watching
Keep it funky.
Sidebar Street and Culture Parkway. I am Zim Digital, and I'm here with my
It's
co-host.
Nico.
It's Nico, and who
It's your
else?
boy Zeno. What up?
Say it
What up?
again.
Peace, peace.
All right. Sidebar Street and Culture
Zeno.
Parkway, yo. Blessings, blessings, blessings. See you
Bless,
guys
bless.
later. Peace. Oh man, yo, get the freak out of here. That was dope though, yo. Like I did not expect you to spin that one that way. That was just a good spin, bro. Like, wow.
That's right. That was right.
I thought he was gonna say pressure and release and just continuing the pressure and release, but when he said it's just like a fart out of your soul, I was like, this is poetic, yo.
You know.